Lesson 1: Communities, Tolerance, and Fairness. Let us start by looking at communities. A community is not just a casual, random group of people who happen to share the same space or time. Instead, a community consists of people linked by shared purposes, norms, relationships, and a sense of belonging. This could be your family, school, or even an online group. Communities can be open or closed. An open community welcomes newcomers and allows for a diversity of beliefs or lifestyles, provided everyone respects shared basic rules. In contrast, a closed community restricts membership, limits outside influence, and enforces tight internal norms and boundaries. When people from different backgrounds live together, cultural dialogue becomes very important. It builds mutual understanding and reduces prejudice while respecting diversity. In moral and social life, we often talk about tolerance, which means putting up with practices you might not share, as long as they stay within moral and legal bounds. But we can aim higher than mere tolerance by practicing solidarity. Solidarity means offering positive mutual support and standing with others across differences like race or gender, rather than just leaving them alone. Unfortunately, irrational intolerance still exists, taking forms like racism, sexism, and xenophobia, where people are rejected simply for who they are. While freedom of speech is vital in a democracy, a major misuse of it occurs when it is used as an excuse to promote hate or irrational intolerance against groups. Finally, a healthy society relies on fairness and social justice. If selfishness is widespread, it weakens cooperation and care for the vulnerable. True fairness means people are not arbitrarily disadvantaged when sharing benefits and burdens, protecting everyone's dignity. Lesson 2: Role Models and Social Influence. A role model is a person whose qualities or example others look to for guidance or inspiration. We tend to imitate the examples we admire, which is why it is so important to choose positive role models carefully. A good moral role model displays virtues like honesty, empathy, fairness, responsibility, and respect for others. On the other hand, a negative role model displays harmful attitudes or behaviors like violence, prejudice, or dishonesty that others might copy. Fame alone does not make someone a good role model. Today, social media influencers hold significant power. They showcase lifestyles, consumption habits, and body images that followers may adopt. Influencers can promote positive traits like courageous honesty and support for others. But if we do not evaluate them critically, they can normalize harmful behaviors. This extends to political and religious leaders too. Because they shape collective values and laws for large groups, their examples can inspire justice or, conversely, normalize prejudice. A balanced approach requires critical admiration. This means we emulate a person's good qualities without idolizing them or ignoring their flaws. In online spaces, we also have to be aware of radicalization. This is a process where a person is drawn toward extreme ideologies that may justify hatred or violence. Often, this happens through isolation in online echo chambers. Algorithms or recruiters offer a false sense of belonging, gradually escalating grievances and normalizing extreme views. By practicing critical media literacy, you can evaluate the media you consume rather than adopting harmful norms uncritically. Lesson 3: Self-Respect, Free Will, and Harm. Ethics is not only about how we treat others, but also how we treat ourselves. Who we are is partly formed by our individual traits, but our personal identity is also shaped by our relationships, culture, and socialization. Morality itself is learned within a community. In ethical discussions, free will is your capacity to choose among options and be responsible for your choices, even within real limitations, like laws, abilities, and circumstances. To use free will well, we need self-reflection and self-mastery. These skills allow us to examine our beliefs and motives and regulate our impulses so that moral judgment can deliberately guide our actions toward the good. A core ethical concept is self-respect, which means valuing your own dignity and acting in ways that protect your physical and mental well-being. This is very different from narcissism, which is an excessive self-obsession that crowds out genuine care for others. Because human dignity includes a duty of care toward our own life and health, there is a moral reason not to harm ourselves. Self-harm means intentionally damaging your own physical or mental well-being. Physical harm injures the body, whereas psychological harm damages mental and emotional health. We also face threats to our freedom through addiction, such as gambling, harmful substance use, or compulsive gaming. Addiction is a lack of freedom because compulsion and dependence reduce your genuine choice and self-mastery. However, not all risks are bad. A positive risk, like a firefighter entering a burning building, is socially required to protect others, distinguishing it from reckless thrills that endanger lives without a moral purpose. Lesson 4: Digital Ethics and Respecting Others. Navigating digital spaces requires a strong understanding of ethics. One common issue is oversharing on social media. Excessive self-exposure is ethically problematic because it can expose private details, invite harm like stalking or identity theft, and severely damage your reputation or relationships. Ethical media use requires setting clear privacy boundaries. Another severe issue is cyberbullying, which involves using digital technology to repeatedly harass, threaten, or humiliate someone. It can include spreading rumors, exclusionary tactics, and humiliating posts. If you encounter cyberbullying, a supportive response includes listening without blaming the victim, preserving evidence of the abuse, and seeking help from trusted adults or professionals. Words also carry immense power. Hate speech is speech that attacks or demeans people based on protected characteristics like race, religion, gender, or sexuality. It degrades human dignity and can incite hostility, which is why ethics and law often place limits on it. We must also consider the severe harms of digital exploitation. Sharing intimate images without consent, known as revenge porn, is ethically wrong because it severely violates privacy, dignity, and consent, intentionally humiliating the person depicted. Similarly, ethical concerns about pornography highlight the risks of exploitation, especially of vulnerable people, and harmful objectifying portrayals of persons. Finally, outside the digital world, ethical duties of care extend to areas like workplace safety. Unsafe practices that risk workers' health are unethical because they prioritize profit or convenience above workers' safety and dignity. Whether online or offline, exposing others to preventable danger for personal gain is a selfish and unjust practice. Thanks for watching. For free practice questions, study guides, and flashcards, visit exampreprise.com. Good luck on your exam!